are. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Uper.com. Today we have Lala who is going to talk about her au pair experience abroad. Welcome, Lala, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for interviewing me.
So, I would like to start our interview asking something about yourself. So, how old are you? Where are you from? Where do you live? Give me some background.
So I'm 29 years old and I'm from Azerbaijan. And for now, I live in Italy. I'm looking for a job and I studied geology, so I'm looking for a job. Depends where I find job, I will go or I will go back to my country.
Okay, and how come did you become an au pair? When did it happen?
Actually, my first au pair experience was in Norway, but due to some problems, I had to leave that family. So I heard it from my friend. I wanted to improve my Norwegian, and some friends said that, why don't you try au pairing? And I didn't know what's that. It happened a year ago. And I started searching, reading about au pairing, and I loved the idea, the spirit. So I started first au pairing in Norway, but due to visa problems and then my personal family problems, I had to leave Norway. Later, I decided to come to Italy because I knew some Italian and I wanted to improve Italian language. So I started looking for a family in Italy.
Okay, so you actually au paired twice, once in Norway and the second time in Italy.
Yeah, in Norway, my stay was just 1 week, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I don't consider it full experience, but in Italy, it's already 6 months.
Okay, and what was interesting for you about the au pair program in general? You mentioned that you wanted to improve the language, but what did you like the most about the idea?
I love children. I also have experience as a leader, trainer for outdoor activities. I am scout leader from Azerbaijan. So I love children. The work with children in the au pairing, what I like most, to work with children, to see the family culture, to see the culture of that country, and you are saving some money also, depends in which family. In general, this spirit was wow for me. I thought to myself, how come I didn't know about that so many years? Because some countries have age limit, 30. So now I have 1 year left. I'm 29. So I was like, oh my God, how I didn't know this before.
Yeah, yeah, I think the language aspect it's very important when it comes to au pairing. So it's good that you found a family even before the age limit, which is different from country to country, but still you did it. And well, once you arrived to Italy, well, you completed your studies in Azerbaijan. So was it your first time in Italy?
No, it was my second time in Italy. I studied in Italy for 1 year in 2017, but I couldn't get into culture, I couldn't learn language, and I couldn't get any Italian friend because of the language barrier.
Mm-hmm.
So I left. I continued my studies in Norway with the Erasmus program. And later again, I came back to Italy because I really wanted to learn Italian. I love Italian language.
Okay. And what about the research process? Did you have any special requirements for your host family?
No, I didn't have any requirements. Just I was a bit afraid not to be able to do all this household cleaning or cooking because I'm really bad at cooking. I love cleaning because with the children, uh, I must learn language, I must teach language, and also I must cook, clean. I was so scared that I will not be able to do all of this. But then I saw each family has their requirements. Some wants most help with the cleaning, cooking, some doesn't want. So I didn't have any special requirements.
And how long did it take you before finding the host family?
In Italy, it took me like 2 months after intensive search. I was getting a lot of calls, doing interviews with the families, and there were so many families looking for the au pair or babysitter, because in Italy, they usually call it babysitter. Some Italian families don't know the exact meaning of au pairing, so I usually call it babysitter. It took me 2 months after I decided to come to Lecce city in Italy, South Italy.
Yeah, very nice. Lecce is a beautiful city. Yeah. And well, concerning then the language, how much did you improve during your first day with the Italian family?
The most helpful was the child, because she was always talking to me in Italian, and I was continuously hearing Italian. So now I can say I am pre-intermediate or intermediate. Depends. I understand better than I speak, but it was really, really helpful for me. With the family, we don't do so many activities, but with the child, continuously I speak Italian, English. So she is improving English and I improved Italian.
And so you use English to talk to the host parents as well?
Yes.
Okay. How is the communication going overall?
So these host parents are separated. 3 days per week I go to mom's house, and 2 days per week I go to dad's house, and I live separated. They pay for my room in another house. Mine is not exactly like au pairing. It's because of the requirements of the family. So I'm mostly teaching English, and sometimes babysitting. So the dad doesn't speak any English. With him, sometimes I speak Italian, but mom speaks good English, really. But we don't do so many activities with the family, unfortunately. They are a bit introvert. For them, it is a bit hard to understand, to accept someone stranger to come to the dinner table, because in general Italians are traditional, and this family as well. So that's why I respect, I understand, they need their space, and they also gave me my space. But I would like to do more activities. For example, we just had a dinner just 2 times in 6 months, which is less for me. But by the time I understand that this family wants their space, and what they want is their daughter to improve English.
Okay. It's interesting also the fact that you're working for a single parent, even if they are separated. So you work with both, but actually they're single. And how do you deal with that? I mean, during your research, we have a search criteria specifically for that. So I want to work for a host, like a single dad, a single mom, or both parents. Was it a problem for you, or did it came naturally?
No, it wasn't a problem for me, because the mom connected to me first. So we started talking with the single mom, and I was super happy with this, because in these 2 months I was always in the communication with the dads, not a single dad, married dad, but some of them, I didn't feel safe even to talk to them. I started thinking about the future, if I will live with them. So some people didn't give me that safety feelings. So in the end, finally, single mom connected me, and I said, okay, I'm coming. We had just a few video calls, and she said I am a divorced mom. So I just said, okay, I'm coming.
Okay. And what about the visa? So, did you need a visa to go to Italy, or how is your visa situation in general?
No, I had the studies visa from
Okay.
Norway as well as Italy, but in general, Italy doesn't have au pair visa, and they don't make au pairing contracts. So if you have visa, families accept you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, and what about the child? So you mentioned that you're speaking Italian to her, well, English and Italian to her all the time. How did she react when you arrived? Were you the first au pair of the family?
No, I was the second, and here the story gets really interesting. So I arrived in Lecce in December, and just one day after arrival, I started. The problem started where the mom didn't inform me about the character of the daughter, and it was also my mistake that I didn't give the specific questions, because mom is not very talkative. So the first month was really, really hard for me. Uh, this child, she's 7 years old and she's super smart, but she's sometimes nervous. Like, first month, she was attacking me, pushing me away, beating me sometimes. She didn't want anything to do anything with me. And because I speak English, she speak Italian, and we didn't understand each other, it was super hard situation. In the end of first months, I thought that I cannot do it, even if I had experience with children, but language is great barrier. So I talked to the mom that she's very aggressive. I cannot teach any English. She doesn't want to stay with me. I cannot do it anymore. The mom said, okay, I'm gonna talk to her. So the second month, she stopped being aggressive, but she started being very smart. For example, sometimes she was falling down alone and calling her mom by crying that Lala hurts me. I was like, oh my God, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. And she was telling, I miss my previous au pair. She was beautiful. You are ugly. You are bad. You are rude. Like this type of stuff. Whatever I was doing, it was my fault. And she was crying a lot. Then this was also my mistake, that I didn't talk to the previous au pair before. After 2 months, finally, I decided to talk to previous au pair, and she helped me a lot. She said it was the same when she started. I just need to give her time and to be patient. She also said that mom needs to be more informative. You need to discuss things with the mom. But so mom was not very talkative, and I didn't see her so much during the day. I was always alone with the child, so it was a bit hard. And after 2 months, I started improving my Italian. So we started having some conversation with the child. When she was crying, I was telling her, okay, now tell me, why are you angry? What you don't like? Just tell me, why do you cry? Why do you yell? You scare me like that. So she saw that, oh, Lala speaks some Italian, she will understand me. She started explaining me, Lala, I don't like this. I don't like this, Lala. I am nervous. Please don't do this. You don't understand me. Sometimes I am impatient. And then she started, I also like you. You are also beautiful, but I just miss my previous au pair. Now I want you both together. I don't want, if she comes, you don't go. I don't want this. So she was really confused. Now, thank God, our relationship is better because we started talking something.
Okay, wow. It must have been really hard, especially for 2 months, having this kind of relationship with a kid. So,
Yeah,
wow.
she is really smart and she has difficult character. And I didn't have good communication neither with dad nor with mom. So I was helpless. I just learned everything by the time. But if I talked to previous au pair before starting, I could have been ready for this.
Yeah, of course. I also think that's a part of the host parent's job to inform the au pair also before how the child behaves and also what's the situation at home. Because in such cases, I mean, if it weren't you, it was somebody else, they could have quit it already after one
Yes.
month. So you were very patient in this situation.
Also, it's challenging for me. I like these difficult children and then to make friendship with them, but it takes so much time really, and I
Yeah.
must be patient. Like so many days I came back home very sad because, mom knows her daughter, but for example, sometimes when she's crying, Mom arrives and tries to calm her down, and she says, okay, Lala, I know, don't worry. But some days when mom was not in the mood, she was telling me, okay, Lala, go now. So this was affecting me really, really bad. I was thinking, oh my God, it's really my fault. Then by the time I really started understanding, not just the communication with children, but also communication with the adult. Speaking, discussing is always important.
Yeah. Is it going a bit better also with the host parents? Do you like have a weekly meeting where you discuss what happened during the week? How is the communication working?
No, nothing. It's just same.
Mm.
Um, Zero communication. So I'm having all my communication with the child herself. It's more helpful. And as I said, we don't do so many activities. Even for the birthday of the child, I was invited after the cake was cut. That also affected me, but it was in March. And after that, I accepted that. Okay, I'm here just to teach English. Also, this family doesn't know the spirit of au pairing, and I am a bit hesitating to teach them. Maybe when we finish this experience, they now want to continue working with me, but it depends. If I get a job, I will move to another country or city. If I finish this experience, in the end, I will add some advices for the parents
Yeah.
with how to do with the next au pair and some advice about au pairing program in general.
Yeah, of course. I think this is very important. So once you end, maybe it will be the right time if you don't want to do it earlier, also not
Yes.
to compromise the whole thing. Can
Yes.
understand that. How long are you gonna stay? Do you already have like an end date, or it depends on when you find a job?
Um, it depends when I find a job. It's definitely that I will go. But the mom cannot decide. You know, when I arrived in Lecce, she told me, let's try for 1 month and then we will see. And I said, okay, this is perfectly fine. And she's right. And then second month, she also said, okay, let's try 1 more month and then we will see. Third month, let's try 1 more month. I said her, I must plan my life. I cannot wait like this. So she said she was worried about the communication between me and her daughter. And then finally, fourth month, she said, okay, we want to continue with you, but we don't have any end date. We didn't
Okay,
talk about it as well.
okay. And are you attending a language course?
No.
Okay, so you're learning Italian really by doing.
Yes, I learned it by myself, talking to people and reading some books like
Okay,
this.
okay. I have a question concerning the future because you're a geologist. And I mean, it's a very specific profession. Do you think that what you did so far with your pair program is going to help you even to be a geologist maybe in the future? I mean, how can you combine the competencies you learned during the au pair year and what will you be required to do afterwards? Because of course, it's a you're going to be a scientist.
Yes,
So
I
I'm
hope.
curious about these two different worlds coming together. What do you think is common between them?
Um, with geology, I cannot say anything directly related, but so many things with the people, maybe with my future colleagues, with the communication, how to behave, and so on. It can be helpful, but most helpful it will be for me in my future family life. Also, in the future, maybe I want to take one more degree on child psychology. For
Wow,
this, it will be super helpful, for example.
wow, interesting. And I also have another question concerning the culture. Of course, language is the first thing to enter a culture, but did you find anything pretty shocking in Italy, so-called cultural shock?
Yes, they are very, very traditional. and they are very happy with that. They don't want, most of them, let me say, my friends will get angry with me. Most of them do not want to try something new, new way of doing something, eating something. They are very happy with these traditions, and most of them do not want to change. And if you want to offer something, it's no, like that. And then they eat dinner very late. We have a lot of arguments with my friends. In Azerbaijan, we eat, I think, around 7. Also, I lived in Norway for 2 years. It's around 6, 7. Italians eat around 8:30, 9. In the summer, it's 10, 11. And they eat a good dinner, you know, very heavy meals. If I eat that, it means I will not sleep during the night. I cannot digest it. So it's all about to get used to it. So when I talk to my friends that, guys, I'm hungry, I must eat now, they say, what, Lala? It's time for aperitivo. They just drink something, they eat ham, cheese. This ham, cheese is also lunch for me, you know, it's really heavy. So we have this big difference. We are always arguing with my friends. When I'm hungry, they laugh at me. And when they eat dinner so late, around 10, 11, that makes me shocked. I am thinking how you digest it, how do you sleep?
And is there something, of course, you already mentioned something, but still I want to ask you that you didn't like about the organization, the experience, the searching process, something you would have done differently maybe afterwards?
Yes, as I said before, I will definitely talk to previous au pairs. I would ask same questions to their parents and then same questions to the au pair, and then to make analysis, comparisons. And then, should I say the platform aupair.com, my opinions about it?
Yeah.
I love the platform. It's very, very helpful. I just realized one thing. Some parents do not write the exact payment amount on the profile. They do not write. And when we are having interview, I am usually shy to ask it, to tell the truth. I never ask it in the beginning. It's also in my different job interviews. I never ask it. So usually, I think parents should tell it even without asking, or they should write it in the profile, because it takes so many times. We are talking, everything is fine. In the end, the payment is too low that you cannot accept it. Or the platform should have some information about the spirit of au pairing, that it is not just a nanny or babysitting, or au pair is not the worker in your house. There should be some information for the families that are new or do not know about it.
Yeah, agreed. We have also lots of wiki pages about that, but of course it takes time for users to read. It's a lot to bear, so we always hope that people read it in advance before registering, but this doesn't happen really often, so I get this. And what is the most memorable moment you lived in this past 6 months as an au pair?
I don't have this like wow or happy memorable moments. As I said, we don't spend so much time with the family. Most memorable, just with the child. Sometimes she talks to me like real adult. Her answers, her point of view makes me surprised. Or some negative behavior of her. Like, my memories are a bit challenging and negative, but in general, I'm happy because I learned a lot from this experience.
Okay. And well, to sum it up, would you like to say some more advices to future au pairs who are going to live this experience?
Future au pairs, beside talking to previous au pair and beside talking everything in advance with the family, having weekly discussions. I will say to have contract between the family and au pair, just irregular contract, to know what are your responsibilities and what are family's responsibilities, just to have like a promise, you know. In the end, if you have problem, you can say that we didn't talk like that in the beginning, because it's really easy to work under the contract regulations. For example, in Norway, I was gonna have contract and it was super easy, safe for both parts. But when there is no contract, I think family can refuse anytime, but au pair is in danger. If they refuse, you are homeless, you don't have money, food, you must go back, or you have to find new house. So without contract, it's a bit difficult with the au pairs. That's why they should be more careful, if possible, to live with the family for a week, to try to make sure, if possible. Of course, it's difficult with the visa problems and so on.
Yeah.
That's it. I can say just like this.
Okay, thank you for this precious advice. And I have a very last question for you, which is, would you do it again?
Yes, definitely. I love it.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, and that's the end of our interview. So I want to thank you again for your time and for everything you said about your experience. I think it's going to be very useful for future au pairs, and I wish you good luck for your future.
Thank you. Good luck to you too.
Thank you.